Hi, it's me, it's Kira. I'm just jumping on here to make another video tonight. I just wanted to kind of feature a specific brand that I actually have enjoyed their products, and there's certain things that I would totally recommend for me, for my friends. Like, I would recommend them, especially because I feel like they're on an affordable side, and for the quality, I feel like it is a good alternative for makeup. So I'm gonna go ahead and share. The majority of what I have is this brand. Some of the items I don't have this product, or like I don't have that face product to use, so I'm gonna have to replace it with a different product, but I will tell you when I'm doing that. So I want to start off, the brand that I'm going to be doing is Ulta Beauty. So I love shopping at Ulta. It's my go-to. I honestly don't shop at Sephora ever, really. I haven't really ever shopped there, only because the price point, like, I just, with the economy right now, it's just not something that I gravitate. If I can find something that's cheaper for better quality, I usually end up doing that, or I'd prefer to go with like an indie brand rather than go through with something in Sephora, if I'm gonna spend more money. But anyway, I first want to start off with the Ulta Beauty collection. It's the Jelly Balm, like, lip balm, and it smells like, if you've ever had, I have the Fresh Kiss from ColourPop. It's like their juicy lip gloss, and I have like the mango one, and it smells the exact same. So this one I think is a mango flavor, and this is actually made in Korea, and it's so good. Like, it's so juicy on it. So I love doing this as like a prep product. Very much a juicy lip balm is how I would describe it. And it just smells so good. You would want to probably be careful about it melting if it gets too hot. So I always make sure it's rolled down slightly. And then I just make sure, if I do have this in my purse, that I have it with me, not just sitting in my car. But yeah, it feels super hydrating. I feel like it's the perfect consistency, and I feel like it says what it is, jelly balm. Like, I feel like it just is definitely that consistency. I don't know how many flavors there are. I actually did purchase this myself because I thought it looked awesome. And I love it. I would repurchase that for the price. I can't remember the price, but definitely worth. Not super expensive. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more Ulta Beauty, like the eye primer. I've had a little bit of problems, not gonna lie, of like squeezing it out. And I don't know if it just hardens in the top, and so it's like harder to come out. But if there's been some time that I haven't used it, it can be a little bit more difficult to get the product out of the tube. But then it feels like there's like fullness to it. So it just doesn't really squish well. I don't know if that makes any sense. And I don't know if they have like a different size or if this is their generic size, but it's like a champagne. It says that it gives a shimmering finish. It, in my opinion, does not give a shimmer finish. Like, if you look at my eyelid, I just applied that to both eyes, and I already had a little bit on prior, so like, I don't see any shimmer whatsoever. So when it says inner glow, I personally don't see that. I would agree it has kind of a champagne, like more of a peachy nude color, at least for my skin tone. So this is the only thing that's been interesting for me. I mean, I use it almost every day because it's the only eye primer I have right now. And it works for, I think, long lasting, creasing. It helps with all of that. I just, for some reason, the packaging is a little bit weird when I try to get the product out, and then I just don't agree with the shimmer finish, which I actually prefer not having a shimmer finish. So I actually like that about this. So we're gonna let that sit. I wanna also start off with the Ulta Beauty Soft Blur Face Primer. This is like one of the free products I got. It's a poreless one. This one I think is where it's like more of that silicone texture. Don't know if you could see that, like kind of a jelly silicone. I usually don't love products like this, only Not because they don't work. Like, I feel like that worked to blur. I think that worked. I just don't love the texture sometimes. I feel like it can be a little greasy. And so this one is where I feel it is a teeny bit greasy. So I don't know if I would consistently wear this, but I do believe that it lessens the pores. So I would agree that it does do that. So I'm just gonna kind of rub this in. I got a little bit too much. I feel like a little bit goes a long way as well. So, which is nice because you don't have to use as much product. But yeah, this is just not a base that I typically gravitate towards, but it's not a bad product. I've only used this a few times because of it. The times that I have used it, I have not noticed any like peeling or anything bad about the product. Again, it just gives a little bit more of a greasy feeling to me, and I have dry skin, and so I just don't know how this would react with like oily skin. This one's made in China, so this one's different, but it says helps smooth and refine pores for giving a blurred matte finish, which I would agree that it did blur and it did give more of that matte finish. So I think it says what it does. I think the packaging is adorable. I don't know if this is just a mini or if this is their typical size, but this again was a free product. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hurry and put on the face because I'm not gonna do like a super heavy eye look. So I wanna put on the base first just to be ready. And these are not Ulta Beauty products because again, I don't have a face complexion product like foundation or skin tint. However, I can say one of my first, when I started to get into like foundation and skin tints, one of my first ones that I got was the Ulta Beauty one, and I personally loved it. I haven't used it though in a couple of years, and so with how much I've progressed in my makeup journey, I just don't know what that's like, but I do know and remember that I loved, it was like either their tinted moisturizer or skin tint. It was a very lightweight one, and I personally liked the finish of it. I'd be interested to try it again only because my skin is so sensitive. I wonder if it like breaks me out or not. Like, I can't say to that because again, it's been a long time since I've had it. So today I'm going to use just the IT Cosmetics CC Nude Cream, Nude Glow Color Correcting Skin Tint, and then I'm just going to use the LA Girl Pro Concealer really quick. So I'm just going to pause the video and then I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I just put on my complexion base. I feel like it worked really well with the primer. I mean, this is a glowy product, so essentially the primer that I put on, I feel like kind of cancels out with the product I just put on because it's a very glowy skin tint and skincare based skin tint, and so that's where that glow comes from. But anyway, I do like it. I am gonna go ahead and move on to the eyes. I'm a little bit torn because I actually have 3 palettes from Ulta Beauty. Ulta Beauty was one of my first eyeshadow palettes. This is gonna look embarrassing and disgusting, so don't judge me because it's very old. Like, look at that. That is how beat up my palette is. It's only cardboard. Like, you can only keep your cardboard nice for so long. Yeah, so that's why it looks that way. Like, we're talking, it's a couple, it's old. It's probably past, I know it's past its expiration. However, it still works. So I just wanted to show what this palette is like. I don't even know if they sell this, but this was in a free like collection when I got like, it was like a ton of product for what I got. Look how much I've used this palette. Like, I have not used a palette more than this. And I mean, I know this has been like my longest ever palette I've owned, besides other ones that I've gotten rid of at this point. But this has been like an everyday palette for me because it has all the neutrals. It has shimmers and mattes. And then I think there's some like matte cream, which I've never really noticed. Oh, that's the shade. I'm so silly. Okay, it's a cream shade. That's why I was reading the back because it has the shimmers and then it has matte. So these are like, I would say, true shimmers and matte formulas. As you can see, the ones I've used the most are like hit pan on. That one did break, so that one I did hit pan, but then it broke because I probably dropped it, knowing myself. I don't remember, but yeah, I've used this so much, and I actually haven't used it in a bit just because I've been using a lot of my other new ones. So there's this one. This one is Ulta Beauty Violet Hour. This was also a free one. This one I have not used much. The one that I've used the most is this purple shade here. And this is one that I've used as like a companion palette because I'll be honest, the shades in this one, you really have to like build up, at least for me, for my preference. And like this one is kind of hard panned. This one up here and this one's kind of hard panned. So like, cause I like to use my finger for like shimmers or glitters. And so it has created that hard pan. I don't know if I scraped it off. If I would scrape it off and like maybe used a brush, that maybe that would be a better way to use it. I like the colors in it. It's just more plain. And so it's something that I use more as a companion palette than anything. And then this is my newest one that I got really recently, is this little Ulta Beauty one. And this one is so cute. It has little flowers. Again, this was a free one. And yeah, I just love the theming of it. It's a 5-pan palette and it's very neutral. This one I have hit hard pan, so again, that's one that there's shimmer or glimmers. Okay, let me explain. The shimmers in this one, I have never had a hard pan in this. This has been amazing. But then the like glowy, I don't even know what they're called. This is just called a Petal Glow. Oh my goodness. I don't know what formula. Again, it's like a glitter shimmer. Like it is super pretty. I'm not gonna lie, like it still gives pretty shimmer. It kind of reminds me of like a pretty topper. Sorry, I'm trying to find the best spot to show that. But anyway, but it has hit hard pan. So if that's gonna bother you, then that's just, I guess you could use that to how would you know, what matters to you. I think I'm really leaning into wanting to use this palette. Just to kind of play with it a little bit more, a very neutral palette. I'm gonna go ahead and I usually combine like these two shades. This is Radiant Rose and Blissful Bloom, just to kind of go like in the crease and probably all over my lid, because I just want to do kind of a more natural look today. I might do the other Violet Hour and kind of combine the palettes just to kind of see, because both of these I haven't used a ton and I would love to have a better thought. So again, the mattes I think are super pretty, like that's blending really well in my opinion, and has a good enough color payoff. Like I think that looks really good. I think I'm gonna go into some of these darker shades to maybe do a little bit of either a wing or just like a line on top close to the lashes. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add this Paradise shade and just kind of do that one also all over my lid. It's a little bit, I feel, of like a lighter shade than and it's a little more peach than the other ones I just put on. So I'm just buffing this all over my eyelid now. So that one I use a lot as like a transition or just a lid shade. That's probably my most used one in this palette. And that one I've never had a problem with, the mattes. And then besides like the purple, I use this purple all the time as a companion shade. If I want like a base, a good base for with purple, I use that. Okay, and then I am going to grab, I thought I had it, but I think, don't mind me while I'm reaching. There we go. Sorry, I have a very specific brush that I use. Sorry, I feel like, my brain is going faster than I can talk. Okay. I have this specific brush. This is the only brush I kept that was in this collection, and can't even remember. I got it at Walgreens like forever ago, and it doesn't even have a brand on it. Like it's, if it does, it's rubbed off. There's like a little E. I don't know if you can see that. Like right here, that symbol. Couldn't tell you what brand this is, but I like to use it because it's an angled brush. So I always use this for like eyeliner, if I'm using like shadow for eyeliner. And I'm gonna go ahead and combine the two darkest shades on the end, and we'll see if I end up doing like a wing, I don't know. But this is such, like, look at the difference in my eyes. It just makes such a big difference. I feel like it really accentuates your lashes and just gives that dimension. And so this is one that I really like to use for like a very natural look. I think it's just super pretty. Like you could do a little baby wing. And like, it's just super cute. So if you're a neutral girly, I think you'll love this palette. It's simple. I mean, you definitely get kind of a monochromatic look with that. You can't do too many different shades and looks with it, but if you're something that you just go to the office and you just need a very natural look, but you want to spice it up with a dark wing, like you could do this. You could create a lot of dimension with that. And then, yeah, it's just super pretty. So, oh, I was gonna say it's really good for travel because it's so small. Like this would be so nice to take for traveling, because I don't really have a lot of good travel palettes that are small like this. And so I could totally see myself taking this traveling because of the size of it. And it's not one that like I would be too worried if it broke, just because, you know, it's not one of my more expensive palettes, which is nice. Not to say that I don't want it to break, but it's just, it wouldn't be a deal breaker. It wouldn't be too sad. Okay, I'm getting carried away with my wings and they're not looking even. I need a makeup wipe. I always struggle with, again, both sides. I feel like this eye always looks way better, and the other eye, I can't ever figure it out. And I think it's just the shape. I think one eye is a little more like hooded than the other. And then I'm also left-handed, so I don't know if, because I'm left-handed, this side is easier for me to do, but this side always looks way better. And then I have this side that's like not even a freaking wing, but I'm just, you know, trying to make a wing. So it just takes a little bit of patience, and I love using a makeup wipe to just make it really sharp so that if it is messy, it's okay. You literally just take it and just right across the edge of it, and it sharpens the wing so much, and it just looks so good. So highly recommend to do that. I'm just gonna add just a little bit more, and hopefully I don't mess it up again, because that's what I do sometimes, is I become such a perfectionist. I just want to deepen that from where I did the makeup wipe. I want to make sure I still have that color. Okay, I feel like that looks good. And then I want to use the shimmer. I'm not going to put like a glitter primer. I don't want it to be super, but like, look how shiny that is. Like, that's so pretty. And it is really pretty on. It definitely gives more of that natural like topper glitter look. So I feel like it just gives such a beautiful, beautiful shimmer. I haven't looked to see if this is a palette. I would hope you could buy this. But I don't know if this is like a limited thing or, because again, I got this in a free gift. Like, so I just don't know. But I love this look. I love the simplicity of it. I love, it's a teeny bit smoky with the eyeliner. Yeah, it's just really pretty. So I think that's all I'm gonna add to the eyes for now. Again, using this little Ulta Beauty collection, little flower themed palette, super fun. I'm debating, I think I'm gonna use just an inner corner color here. An inner corner highlight, I should say. Just wiping off, I use this, I love using this little Ulta Beauty eyeshadow brush because I think it gives such a good, it's a good inner corner. But I need to wash my brushes again, so I just used a, this is also Ulta Beauty, the Color Swap. I love this. It's an eyeshadow like switching sponge. So if you have not very many brushes and you're doing a lot of eye looks or something like that, it's so nice because it's literally just a sponge. And what you do is you just literally, you brush, I'm saying literally too much. You brush you put your brush in it and you just scrub it basically on the sponge and it wipes clean the brush so that you can use it and like alternate between colors. I'm just putting that little inner corner. Again, I'm using this shade. It's kind of like a peachy shimmer. Oh my goodness, I'm so clumsy today. It's called Twilight. And it's just a beautiful kind of champagne peachy shimmer. Like that's such a good inner corner highlight. So like that's, again, I love using this palette as a companion palette because you can do stuff like this and it is so, so pretty. Like look at that. I'm gonna bring just a little bit underneath my eye. Just kind of give that brightness. And that looks so, so pretty. Okay. I think that's it for the eyeshadow look. I'll decide if I want to add more later. And then I want to go ahead and go into, let's see, I want to go into the face. So I know I've showed this a little bit. Ripped my broken trio here. It's called the Cheek Squad. It's so cute. I would buy this. I would totally buy this because again, so travel friendly. I got this, I think this was part of the free gift. I either purchased this or this was part of the gift. I can't remember, honestly, but it is so cute. So you get a blush and then the middle one, oh, there's a fuzzy on it. Hold on, I'm getting it now. This is a highlight. And then the last piece is the bronzer, which I've used this the most. And again, I dropped it on like really hard tile, so that's why it broke. Otherwise, this is such a perfect travel thing. Like I love it. And it's a cream, they're all cream products. This is in the shade Bubblegum, which I think because the blush is like a bubblegum pink. I think this is what their lightest, one of their lightest shades that they have. So there are other shades you can get and you can look and see which one you'd like the most. I would probably get this one again once this one's used up, or I would get a shade just under that that's slightly darker just to kind of see what that would look like. I have very fair skin, so I don't know like if the bronzer would really work for me, but I would definitely be interested to try. Sorry, I'm looking for my bronzer brush. I thought I was like prepared with all my brushes and then I never am, so it's fine. I'm just gonna use my Anastasia foundation brush, but I just dip it in. And one thing that you could do if you want a little bit more of a seamless application is you can swirl it like on the back of your hand and just kind of make sure that the product is placed how you would like it, and then you can place it on your face. So that's just kind of a tip. If you want to make sure you disperse the product well on the brush, then you could do that. It depends. Sometimes I like to do that. I don't usually do that for this bronzer because I feel like it's just a waste of my bronzer because it sticks to my hand, and then I feel like a lot of it is just taken off of the brush. So I usually dip it because I feel like it blends well enough that it doesn't matter with the placement, that I can just blend it away. So this is me just going in from the pan onto my face directly and not doing it. So just depending on what you do, it took a little bit more effort on this side to blend it more evenly, but I feel like you get a very similar result. So I like this one. It's a very natural bronze, like it's barely there, but it's still a bronze. So that's one thing I like about this, is that it is such a natural bronze, and then the cream product is nice. Because it's so light, I feel like I can't really tell with the lasting power. I would have to build it up more to see if it really lasts, because again, it's such a light product that I feel like this isn't long lasting, but I don't know that I've paid attention enough to really see the difference between a full day versus, a few hours wear time. And then I'm gonna go in with the blush. I'm gonna see if I could I have a specific blush brush that I use now for this, but I don't know if I have it. Let's see, I might need to improvise. I don't want to use this brush. Sorry, I'm talking out loud. And you're gonna see like my awkward, oop, I got it. Sorry, awkward angles here. Okay, I'm using, this is an actual blusher, like tapered blush brush. This is one I did get from Unique, so it's one that probably wouldn't be available. And this one is a brighter pink. It is a pop of pink, so like it is pigmented. It is so pretty though. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. And it is slightly glowy, I would say. Oh, it's really pretty. I love this as a blush. And I know it looks intense right now, but once I finish my makeup, it'll soften out. And I'm also building it up anyway, just so you can see the true color on the camera, on the video. So yeah, this was like one to two full dips into this pan, and it's pigmented. Like, and I even, for the first one, I dipped it onto the palm of my hand. You could also do that as well if you want to kind of mix the product. A tip for me, or a tip that you could share is with people, if you ever feel your blush is too much and you are like freaking out because you don't want to look like a clown, you can take whatever like foundation brush or sponge that you use to apply your foundation, and you can just use that and blend in the spots you want to kind of take down the color, and that can really take down the look of it. You could also apply your concealer after your blush. So you could do your blush first and then you can apply your concealer, and then it can create a little bit more of a seamless mixed look. So just a fun tip for that. I'm gonna go ahead and go into the highlight now. I don't know, I've maybe used the highlight like one time. If I use highlight, I'm definitely more of a powder highlight girly. This is very creamy. It is very kind of light and frosted, and I just feel like it's a little bit sticky. But again, I've only used this once, so I'm gonna lay this down with kind of a bit of product just to see how it lays and see if it kind of has like any kind of dry down to it, or if it stays like more tacky. I will say it is very beautiful. It is blinding just a little bit, so it is pretty intense in my opinion, but it blends beautifully with the blush, and it gives, you know, a really pretty glow. So that's that highlight product. Yeah, it's a little tacky. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit longer and just kind of see. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my mascara. I'm gonna use the Ulta Beauty New Heights lifting mascara. So this one is in the shade Black. It's very interesting because the wand is so small, like short, compared to a lot of my other mascara brushes, and so it's one that I'm just not used to it. It's interesting, but I feel like this always wears well on the bottom, especially because it separates and it lengthens. So I feel like this is a perfect like bottom mascara. If you ever use two mascaras, let me know. I typically just use one because that's too much work for me to try to use two. But if I know some people that they do like to use a bottom lash mascara and then they like to use a top lash mascara. And so I would definitely recommend this for bottom lashes, only because again, it gives a good length and separation, at least for my lashes it always has, and then it, I don't know, it's dark. I feel like it doesn't clump really, so that's the nice thing about it. And I don't think it flakes. It's been a minute since I've worn this one, but I don't remember it flaking at all. I'm gonna put it on the top now. This is one I did get in a gift, so I got it with the face like trio and the flower palette. I feel like this mascara, like, it's pretty good. I feel like it gives that good lifted look like it says, and I feel like it gives length and some separation. The only thing is it doesn't give, in my opinion, it doesn't give like a ton of volume, but I feel like it gives such a good curl and lift, and then it does give that like separation and length. So this one, you may or may not like it, I don't know. I wouldn't say this is my favorite, but I also lean more towards volumizing mascaras, just because that's what I prefer in my mascara, and I would prefer like a longer, bigger wand. But this gives such a really pretty, like, I feel like this gives a good natural, like, falsies lash look. So like if you're into false lashes and you want just like a natural, like, look at the curl on this side. Like, it's so pretty. And I feel like it builds up well. I usually only do, you know, 1 to 2 coats, meaning I only dip into the wand, into the container like once, and then I just kind of coat my lashes, so until I'm happy with the length and stuff. So this is like a big close-up, but that's what it looks like. So it's a pretty dang good mascara. Like I said, it gives such a pretty lash look, very natural. So, and I love the packaging. It's so cute. It's pink and it's like a little city on the lid. It's just, it's fun. It's like the New Heights, you know, and it goes with the name. I think that's cute. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and use, let's see if this is dried down a little bit. I don't know, I would say it feels about the same. It's slightly tacky not sticky like to where I think that would bother me all day, but it's slightly tacky, which I feel like is common for like a cream highlight. I'm gonna go ahead and use their matte lip cream. This again, cute little free product that I got. I really like this shade. It's like a kind of like a peach. I remember when I first got into makeup, I'm almost positive they rebranded, I don't know if that's the right word, but sorry, I'm applying my lip at the same time. They repackaged. So like, I remember when I first got this and it was not the same packaging because they repackaged, but I'm pretty sure I had the very same like color. And I wore it all the time. All the time. I just like this color on me. I like a peachy, like nude look. And then I'm gonna finish it off with this little Ulta Beauty Sparkle Gloss. It's a shiny sheer lip gloss. I also really like their lip gloss. I just think it's a pretty finish. I mean, there's nothing super special about it. It's a gloss. I feel like it's hard to find an overly special gloss. But that's one I really like. It's cute. It has little pink and kind of orangey glitter in it. It has kind of like a vanilla dessert scent to it, which I personally prefer like fruity or something like that, but I still like it. So yeah, I think I'm just taking a scan at my products, just making sure I got everything that I wanted to show. And yeah, it looks like I did everything. Sorry, I keep pulling on my mouth because I feel like there is a hair. But anyway, this is the finished look. What do we think? I think it's so pretty. My skin is super glowy. I feel like this is like a perfect go to the office, summer, like natural, like kind of clean girl look, but just slightly elevated. So again, I used, where is it? The Soft Blur Primer. Again, I would want to use this more to have like a full review of it, but I think it's good for the product and what it says it is. I think it does its job as to what it says. I don't prefer this formula for blurring primers. Blurring primers are something that I always don't prefer anyway. I usually lean more towards like a glowy primer, and so it's just personal preference, but I don't think it has anything to do with the actual product. The Ulta Beauty Collection Jelly Balm that I started off with, highly recommend, love it. The scent's amazing, it looks beautiful, it's juicy, it's hydrating. I love it all the time. Like, this is in my purse all the time, and I use it quite often. And then their color swap for eyeshadow, love this. If you switch between a lot of eyeshadow colors, or just you maybe don't have as many brushes that you can just use willy-nilly, and you know, highly recommend this for like a quick clean. And then as far as the eyeshadow palette goes, I use the Ulta Beauty Collection, the cute little flower palette. Again, highly recommend for like a natural look. And then this one as well, I highly recommend for a natural or like companion palette if you can get it. Again, I don't know because these came in some of the free gifts that I got. If you can still get this, highly recommend. Always recommended because this is my longest, most used product that I have. And then I love the cheek squads. Can highly recommend. I don't know, I'm assuming their formula is the same in all of like the shades that you can get. I did see this recently. You can still get this. Perfect for traveling. I love the bronzer. I love the blush. The only one is the highlight, but I just don't gravitate towards a cream highlight. But it's beautiful and it performs well for a cream highlight, in my opinion. Like, I think it performs how it should as a cream highlight. So Highly recommend. This is what it looks like in the full trio if it was put together. So I just think it's super cute, super travel friendly, and I love that about it. Just don't drop it on tile or it may break. And then the last little bit I have is just the little Ulta Beauty lippies. I would recommend them. I think you can also get a lot of good drugstore lippies, so I think you just have to decide price versus scent versus finish, you know, color, all of that. There's a lot to decide, like, but I would probably purchase the gloss again. I don't know about the matte, but only because I haven't been using matte creams as much. And then the Ulta Beauty mascara, highly recommend. Again, this is more for like a natural look, in my opinion. It's more natural. I don't always gravitate towards this type, but I think it's beautiful. Like it looks really good on my lashes. I would repurchase this just because I like to rotate through different kinds of mascaras, and so I like to have different kinds and different finishes. So this is what I would use for more of a natural day, for sure, because I think it's long wearing. And yeah, anyway, I think that's it. I am so glad I was able to share these products with you and kind of show you my cringy first palette that I've ever had, like as an adult, that I really got into makeup. Like, look at that. That can tell you how much that their product might be worth looking into if you've never tried. Again, this is probably my top one. If you want to try a product of theirs, I'd recommend that if you like cream product. But anyway, it's gonna be a long one, you guys. So sorry for the length of the video. I got talking and it took a long time, but that's okay. I love makeup and I wanted to share that with you. So I hope you have a good night, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.